What's up, everybody? This is Justin with the Real Alaska Podcast, my trusty sidekick,
Billy.
All right, welcome to the show, and we have...
Hi, I'm Skye, Nevada.
And I'm Lexa Goki.
And who are you guys with?
We are the new co-owners of the Bridge Co. restaurant in downtown Anchorage.
Congratulations.
Woo, woo, woo. That's exciting. So, thanks for coming on the show, first off.
We're glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I went to your guys' event. The food was absolutely amazing. Massive turnout.
Yes,
Yeah.
our ribbon cutting through the Anchorage Chamber of Commerce. It was so amazing to have the love and support of all of our friends and family and people coming out from the community. I think we broke every record the Chamber had for ribbon cuttings in the past.
It was because of the food.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, you had-
it's complicated. There's
Yeah.
a view there. It's got the whole situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, beer, wine, good food,
Good company.
Great location.
good location.
Great
Like,
location.
you know,
I mean, free
Yeah.
beer and wine.
That really helped.
with really good food helps.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can get a lot of people to a lot of things with that kind of stuff.
You can indeed, yeah.
Especially with the reputation of the bridge. So, you know,
Yes, which was a big reason we were able to have that big draw. I think we had been closed to the public for so long,
Yep.
and it was nice to open up and say, hey, we're still here. We've been doing private events and catering for the past
Right.
couple years, even through the pandemic. But to open up and say, hey, you know, people are coming out. They want to be together. They want to network. They want to have good food. And to give them a space that they can do that in is amazing.
yeah, it's a unique spot too. So I think people just kind of missed it.
For sure.
You know,
Oh,
right
yeah.
there above Ship Creek, right in the heart of kind of that port train area. Like,
And it's such a unique location. I personally love it because of the juxtaposition of, you know, the port and industrialization in the background. But then we're on a fishing stream that, you know, really provides a lot of subsistence fishing for local Alaskans where they can come in and learn about fishing. We've got the hatchery right up the road. It's a great place where, you know, I grew up fishing down there. I know Lexa has brought her kids fishing down
Yep.
there.
I have my equipment there to go fishing. So.
Yeah, we just leave our waders there.
I mean, kind of makes sense. You're just like right off the porch, like, what do?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, if only.
If only.
Well, yeah, so we're super excited to obviously get with you guys and talk about Bridge, all things in the future, whatever you want to share.
Oh, yeah, some things.
Give us the dirt. But I'm sure there's probably like some backstory attached to how you became owners of the Bridge. Where are you from? Are you from Alaska? Like, so if you guys want to kind of just take turns,
Okay.
go back and forth, like, where you're from,
I think
who
we'll,
you are.
we'll do a little bit of a timeline, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm born and raised here in Anchorage,
Mm-hmm.
third generation. My family's grown up here. We absolutely love it. Yeah, so fantastic. Can't imagine living, working anywhere else.
Yeah.
I started working for Bridge, the original owner of Bridge, Patrick Hoogerhide and Al Levinson, back in 2012. I was just coming out of my first divorce. It was crazy. I needed to get back on my feet. I was trying to go to college at the same time. And Patrick gave me a shot when I had no experience in restaurants or catering or anything. I slowly worked my way up, became a manager, finished college, graduated, and then kind of pulled away a little bit, got a full-time job in oil and gas and HR for 5 years. Oh my gosh, stories on that one.
Do you think that doing that helped you to get to where you are now?
Absolutely, because I think taking that time away and getting the experience, particularly in management and working in a different industry, was really helpful. A lot of that stuff that I learned in HR definitely applies to all the management of employees that I do now.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, so did that for a bit, and then why don't you fill in, Lexa?
Yeah, I'll fill in the rest of that. Be in the middle.
Because then we overlapped a little bit.
So I moved up here in 2012. My husband and I are military transplants.
Very cool.
And he retired up here. This is where he wanted to retire. So
Yeah.
we chose this place. And I ended up started working for the Bridge in 2015.
Okay.
I had worked around town. I started at the brew house and I had spent a year there. And then I went to Ginger and I spent a year there. And I took a job at Romano's thinking it would be a really good thing, and it ended up not being. And luckily, I got picked up by the Bridge as the sous chef position.
Nice.
So that was really exciting for me because I was trying to make my way in the industry. I'd gotten a culinary arts degree in Georgia. So while I was pregnant with my daughter. And so I ended up at the Bridge, and it was probably one of the nicest places I had ever been, like just being treated, and it felt like a family. And so it was really great being there, and I got to do a lot of different things there. And that's kind of what brought me along. I had been here for about 6, almost 7 years when Patrick approached me last October about maybe purchasing the Bridge. And so one of the things that he had talked to me about was a partner, and I couldn't think of him and myself, couldn't think of anybody better than Skye. So
that's awesome. It all kind of just like came together.
It did. It came together. So then later that year, Patrick was speaking with me and asked me if I wanted to come back and work for him. And I was like, oh, Patrick, I don't know if I want to do restaurants again.
Right.
And I got to support myself, and that's not always great. Not always the case in restaurants, or you have to have like multiple jobs sometimes.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, I hear you, but what if you owned it? And I was like flabbergasted. Like, what the fuck do you say to that? Like, oh, here, just buy my restaurant.
Well, I haven't considered that, so I have to come back to you.
I'm gonna think about this.
Yeah.
And now here we are. That was in December.
Yep.
We formally closed in June of this year. So we've had the summer season under our belt now.
That was pretty crazy.
It was insane. Oh my gosh, I'm amazed that we're sitting here alive right now.
Because it was very busy.
I bet.
I don't see too much gray in those hairs, so it couldn't have been that.
Oh, not yet. Don't worry. We've only owned it for a few months. Just give us like 6 more months. Let's get through the holiday party
year.
season, and then we'll talk.
Holiday party season.
By the way, if you haven't booked your holiday parties yet, you should already, and you're way behind the curve. But I still have some spots available, so
Hey, what are we
contact
doing
me.
this year? Where are we gonna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're having a holiday party at our place. Oh, but wait, we'll come to you. We'll come to you here, even.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving out of here.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Where are you guys
We're
going?
moving downtown, closer to the bridge.
Oh, that's even
even
better.
Oh,
Nice.
that's the first time I said that.
It's public now. It's public.
It's public now. It's going out there. In
You
about-
want to share where the new space location?
Not yet. We'll announce it soon.
Oh, are you going to do another ribbon cutting for a new location?
We will. We've got
Awesome.
some work to do in the place before,
Okay.
and
All
so
right.
our official lease ends here first week of December. So we
Okay.
got to be fully out.
Ooh, you
Remodeling
guys
it
are
out.
like on a time crunch then.
We are on a time crunch.
That is
but-
always hard. Always difficult.
One, too, and it's like coming out of busy season, right? So
I
usually
know.
like quarter
Yeah.
3, and then quarter 4, you're planning to do stuff, and instead we're just like picking.
Yeah.
Okay. We did this one in like 3 days. We put together.
Yeah, it's
whole
true.
Oh, wow.
It was quick.
Well, then it seems like speed is on your forte.
We just like to pick up things like the most stressful
Thing and
times,
just do it
you know, like,
Yeah, and just run with
it. I'll bite that off right now when I'm busy and I only have 3 weeks to do all this.
Absolutely.
You know what? Yes.
That sounds great.
Work tends to
couldn't have-
expand to the time that you allowed for it.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And so, like, if you give yourself however long, then, you can always find a reason to make it last that long.
I do my best work when I'm under a crunch.
Same
So,
here.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
Same here.
We like the deadline. How many times are we like late at
right
the
there,
restaurant, like
yep.
making food or cleaning?
Just as it's leaving. All right, you can go now.
I think a lot of people operate that way. I know some that would never be able to do that, but I mean, to each their own.
Right.
I work well under pressure.
Yeah, just your
So,
style.
yeah, man. Well, let's
the
get
fire
back
in
to, so you guys commingled, became partners.
We are like officially married now. I call her
Yeah.
my work wifey.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, that's a big
Yep.
deal.
Yeah.
Murd.
Yeah.
Murd.
And then now what?
So we just got through our first summer season. While we weren't open to the public necessarily, we were doing private events and we had tour groups. So that was really exciting. We've been doing tour groups for a
Years.
long time, for years.
Yeah.
But
What
the
do you guys
numbers,
do for tour groups? Just real quick. Sorry.
they do. No, they come in. I joke. They're like the grasshoppers from A Bug's Life. They come, they eat, they leave. They come in and
Hey,
they.
that's a good visual. I can
That was a good
Yes.
visual.
No, it's like they get off the tour groups. No disrespect to the tour companies or. Everybody does a great job. It's amazingly on
Yeah.
time. They do seriously like working with our tour group. Shout out to our tour vendors, but
It's a fine-tuned
It's a
machine.
fine-tuned
Well
machine on
oiled,
all
huh?
parts. Yes, on
Yes.
all parts. The efficiency is insane. They get off the bus, they come in, they sit down immediately. Their salads are already on the table with waters and everything. They start eating. We take drink orders. you get alcoholic, non-alcoholic drinks out. Then they immediately go out plated meals with salmon, chicken, veg, potatoes. They do that course, clear that out, and then they get desserts, a strawberry rhubarb crisp. And like I said, they come, they eat, they leave. The average time is about an hour to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Really, that is
Sometimes
really fast.
45 minutes.
Sometimes some of them,
It's been faster.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's like
Because-
Swiss commuter.
Yes,
Yes.
it's insane. And we turn and burn. There was 3 or 4 days this summer where we did 175 people in about 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Oh, that's
My
actually
God.
pretty good, yeah.
All
Yeah.
plated. Back to back.
Because like these groups are pretty big or no? How big are
They're anywhere from 15 to 50 people at
15 to
once.
50, and really you're just doing it in courses. So the salad's there, then you got drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
boom. How long's the reset for something like that?
We can flip it in about half an hour.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say we
pretty
move
quick.
it pretty
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. Our team
Jesus.
is very efficient. Of course, that's now. In the beginning of the summer, it takes them a little bit longer while we're
Little
still
rusty.
learning.
Still
again.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but by
get
the
that.
time the height of summer, all those
Yeah.
things, we can do it.
Nice.
Get it
Our
dialed.
team's amazing, quite frankly, back of house and front of house. We have
Sweet.
good staff.
I was going to say back of house, maybe 1 or 2 people it takes to do all those parties.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was going to say we usually run 2 people and then we'll have a dishwasher. Maybe.
Sometimes.
And then
always the case,
we do it all ourselves back there.
Man.
Yeah.
That's busy.
Yeah.
Super busy.
That's how I got my start
No
in
kidding.
restaurants, is being a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Because those jobs seem to always be available.
Oh, always.
Because it's
always.
hard. It's a hard
It is a
job.
hard
Dirty
job.
Oh, you're
and
hustling.
wet and
I
wet,
hear-
and it's
yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm always looking for a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Anybody out there?
You got to steal one. I heard that's the thing.
Oh, you gotta. Yeah, we try not to poach. Because the industry in Alaska is so small.
Very small.
very-
Everybody knows everybody. I mean, you can say that about any industry in Alaska, of course, given the size of our state.
That's just Alaska in general.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think in restaurants, it's even weirder because like everybody knows that restaurant too. It's
Right.
like, they like frequent the restaurants. And so it's weird if you leave a restaurant, oftentimes you still want to go back and eat at that restaurant.
Right.
Got to be careful not to burn bridges. That's the truth in Alaska, though, for any industry.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. That's good advice.
That was a pun.
Yes.
No pun intended.
definitely
Or was
definitely
it
don't burn
intended?
that bridge.
Well, that's exciting. So tourism. So
Yeah, and private events.
Private events.
Yep.
Which is always great. We'll do weddings, celebrations of life, birthday parties.
We opened the storefront a couple of times this summer.
Yep.
Very cool.
And did that whole thing. It's been good. And then we've had some interesting trips this summer.
Yes.
We've done some train rides where we cater on like that historic Denali car.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Do that. That's supposed to be rad.
Yep, it's
It was-
super cool.
It was rad, but it was a
very long day.
trip. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you're on the train from 5:45 in the morning, and then you don't get off the train until after 8 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh, that's a long day.
Yeah, I think the Seward one that you don't get back until almost 10.
Yeah, I was going to say
It's
we
a-
got
it's
back
a
until
long
almost
one.
10.
Jeez.
We also do boats out of Whittier. So
Yep.
Okay.
we'll, like 26 Glacier Cruises and all of them, we'll cater off private events on tour boats.
That's fun.
We've also done those out of Seward
yeah.
as well. We did one that they did lunch, a snack, and dinner on it. And we were on that boat, I want to say almost 8 hours. I could have kissed the ground when we got back. It was so, I'm ready.
You got your sea legs, and then you get back on land, and you're like,
Yeah.
Every
Just
time,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, every time. The coolest one that we just did on this Monday, was a trip to Spencer Glacier out in the middle of nowhere. So half the team took the train out there, and then Chef Lexa and I got to fly in a helicopter
Oh, that's cool.
to ride out there.
That's the way to do
It was
the best way to do it.
super cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much work lugging all of those Cambros full of food out there. Great on the way back, very light.
Yeah.
yeah.
that was the good part.
We're like, oh, thank God.
But how crazy cool. And
That is
so
cool.
I wake up some mornings and I'm like, what the fuck is my life? How
Seriously, though.
how is this what I'm getting paid
Yeah.
to do?
Yeah.
And not just paid to do it, but like we own this
Yeah,
company
we
that
own
does
it.
these
Get to
awesome
plan it.
things.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
insane.
super cool.
Yeah.
You got to pinch yourself.
Yes,
bit.
I got to like make sure that this is really my life and I'm really
Yeah.
living it.
What's interesting about that too is like all these tour companies and all that their clients are getting a lot higher quality service now.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty sick though. They like you flew in a catering crew in a helicopter.
Oh yeah. They sling load all the
Hats off to
equipment
you,
there.
sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
So we had
logistics
to,
involved in that's pretty impressive though.
Oh, yes.
It
and
was.
Major kudos to the company that actually put that together.
logistics.
Logistics LLC. Tony and her team over there are amazing. Just high-end quality events that,
Man.
dang, I don't even know what headache she had dealing with all of that, but it came off beautifully, honestly. It was
Lots of good
amazing.
references. We're planning for events for next year, and we're
Yep.
looking at that, and it's like, maybe we should do one at the bridge.
Event planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do one at the bridge.
Oh gosh, I know.
Gosh.
Even though we're just a catering company, you do become de facto event planners,
Right.
and I try not to get too involved sometimes. I'm
Right.
like, no, I'm just handling the food, but that's not always the case, especially
Right.
with all the experience with
That you-
nonprofits I
right,
have or
exactly.
other organizations. Oh yeah, event planning is totally my thing.
Well, and we
That's
a
realized
lot of
too
work.
that if it's
a lot
not
of work.
going well, if it's not going well with anybody else, it doesn't matter if we look good
Right.
because our name's still on it.
Still
so
on
we
it.
kind of have to help.
Yeah.
I can totally
They're not
understand
going to
that.
fire you, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at your place with your
Yes.
food. You're like,
Yes.
we're not going to let this suck.
You feel
No.
ownership and responsibility of it,
Yeah.
even though.
You're like, guys, I told someone to come here. Let's get this together.
Yep.
Together.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing me.
So, gala/holiday season coming down the pipe.
Yeah, what's that look like
yeah.
for you guys?
Yes, our first gala of the season is actually this Saturday. So
Yep.
we went from Glacier on Monday to gala on Saturday.
Yep.
And it's on behalf of
The
Anchorage Symphony Orchestra. It's
Oh,
their
uh-huh.
Champagne Pops, their
Yeah.
annual
I saw that
fundraiser.
one, yep.
We love that event because I don't if you guys have ever been or if you're planning on attending on Saturday, they flip the stage literally. So instead of the audience sitting in the audience, they put tables on the stage. They sit at the tables, we serve dinner, and they build a stage in the audience for
Yeah.
the
Performances.
orchestra
Yep.
to sit
Well,
in there.
that's cool.
It is so cool. If you haven't had a chance, I know they're sold out this year already. Sorry.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm
If
kicking myself
you-
now because I remember seeing the flyer for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so cool. If you have a chance to go, you should definitely go. They fly in performers from out of state every year.
Yeah.
Last year was a Broadway musical theme. This year is country theme.
Okay.
And Chef is so creative. She actually designed a menu around like country
Country
music
stars, yeah.
stars.
Oh, that's cool.
And do you want to tell them about one of them?
I feel like you
Um,
should leak at least one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
Is it Willie Nelson one?
no,
just a-
right?
I mean, I
Just a
thought about
pot
just,
leaf
no,
cake.
yeah, just like a blunt on a plate. That's really Nelson right there.
Here you go, Willie Nelson salad.
There we go. Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, see, that's a creative mind right
Oh,
there.
there we are. So I did an achy breaky heart beet salad.
Oh,
So
that's
for Billy Ray
fan- that's
Cyrus.
fun.
And he's from Kentucky, so I got some Kentucky blue cheese that we're crumbling, but we're grilling radicchio that we've marinated, and then we're making a white balsamic vinaigrette. And we champagne roasted beets, and then we slice them thin, and we're cutting hearts in them, and they'll go with that.
I like that.
It'll look really nice. Some crumbled blue cheese.
Sounds amazing. I'm at the Wedding Crashers this shit.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
really pretty.
I'm like, man. Oh, no, I'm with security. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
totally.
I'm with the caterer.
Sneak on.
Yeah.
Just show up in
sent it to
all
you.
black. No, they'll just
I
let
was
you
gonna
right
say,
in.
all black.
All black. They just need like a little wand thing.
Yep,
there you
that's
go.
it.
Chuck, I'm the here for the smoke machine. Somebody said there's a problem with the smoke
Yes.
machine.
Been there,
They'll let
done
you
that.
in. Yeah, they'll let you in.
Okay, so this Saturday.
This Saturday is our first one, and then we're also helping with the American Cancer Society
Society.
Gala, which is next Saturday. And then we have some other galas for some of the private schools in town, like Grace Christian, Lumen Christi, those type of things.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a busy season.
Yeah, it's always a busy season.
Yeah.
And then holiday parties, of course, those are already popping up. We're already booked for most of our Fridays and Saturdays
Yep. In December.
in December, but it's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going full force all the time.
So next year, after this season, I heard you guys have some cool plans for next year.
We
that
do.
You may want to share.
Yeah.
Getting into it.
So we're looking to open the restaurant 2024. It's going to be reservation only, just because it helps control how many people we bring in, and
Right.
we can give a better experience.
Right.
The bridge has always been kind of get as many people in as possible while giving the best experience that we can, and then getting them out. You know,
Yeah.
we would do between like 300 and 375 people a service. I think the most we ever did was my first season there. We did 402 people, and that was with large parties and
Jesus.
just moving people through. So I kind of want to focus more on like what makes Alaska great, and I want to make that in our menus. And we've been doing wine dinners, and so I kind of want to set them up like our wine dinners where you get 4 courses and you get like a salad course, something else, maybe an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert, or 3 courses, depending on how we design the menu. But the idea is to showcase what makes Alaska great during the summer, and that's all these fresh veg, all this great
So it'd
fish.
be like locally sourced, right?
Yes, yeah.
And most of our food, when we can, is locally sourced. In the
Awesome.
summer, all
Yeah.
of our seafood, comes from Alaska. We try and do our best to
Yeah.
be sustainable, to work with our local fishermen and fisherwomen, and to make sure that we're doing all the right things to stay Alaskan and stay fresh.
How about winter months? I've always been curious about that. Like, how do you? Is there a way to source locally in the wintertime? I heard
There is. So Arctic Harvest is one of the places that we use as a vendor during our winter months when we're looking for like spring mix, because there are hot houses here. There's a hot house for cucumbers. They also start doing their slaughters in some of the winter months. So you can get fresh pig, you can get ground yak. All of those things are available depending on what people's menus are. And then there's dried mushrooms, capriccios. Paul owns that, and he does mushroom foraging, and so he dries them, and we can get those as well.
nice.
So yeah.
It seems like you're starting to see more and more kind of like little pop up winter, like subsistence style winter farming.
I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
like
It's
Up
trying
here?
to become
Yeah.
more of a thing.
yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
It takes a lot of energy, though, if you're doing
I can see
that
that.
indoor type thing. I
I feel like
know
somebody was trying it though at one point, right? They were like going to do a vertical garden.
there was a hydroponics push,
Yeah.
like inside the old
It
Matsu
was like 5 or 6 years ago.
dairy thing. Yeah, that
Oh,
on
yeah,
on
yeah.
that corner of
Yeah.
Northern Lights and
Yeah. Next to McDonald's there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to do something in there, but I think it collapsed. I'm not sure what happened there.
I don't
I mean,
know.
there's a push for it. I
Like the
know.
building collapse?
Now it's
Maybe
storage.
just wasn't the right time. Maybe it was just not the right time. Like
Yeah.
like now
Yeah.
we're thinking about things differently. We're trying to be more responsible and sustain things.
Well, the
locally.
pandemic changed a lot of the way the industry kind of flows. I mean, we had to pivot so much as an establishment. I mean, we went from being open in 2020. We opened at the beginning of July, and by the end of July, we were closed.
Yeah.
And so we had to figure out what to do. And so we actually ended up catching the American Seafood contract for that company, and they had them all stationed at the Comfort Inn, and we did all their quarantine meals because they would quarantine them for 2 weeks before
Right.
they got on the ship,
Yeah.
and then they'd quarantine them for 2 weeks when they got off the ship.
Wow.
So we did all their meals 7 days a week
It's a
until that.
godsend though, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a lifesaver for sure.
It really made a big difference.
Yeah.
And then they started the community meals program
Mm-hmm.
because that pandemic money, the CARES Act money came in, and we won the lottery. As part of that lottery as one of the businesses, so we provided meals to some of our underserved areas of the
Mm-hmm.
community. And it was really great because I have paintings in my office that the kids and parents and everybody participated, giving us as a thank you because they were so grateful to be getting that. So it was
Yeah.
really nice to be able to give that part back to the community.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I'm sure owning a restaurant has not been easy over the last few months. I'm sure there's a massive learning curve.
She works harder than me.
Oh no, not even. No.
Physical hours for me.
And so I guess as new business owners, what has been like some of the biggest challenges that you've like learned from, and like just since June,
Just since June.
or like I know you've done business up before, Skye. So
Well,
just
Well, I think we got really lucky because we knew the transition was happening. And so we were able to work with the old owner of Patrick.
Yeah.
And he could kind of train us up on a lot of the stuff for that transition.
Yeah.
And so he worked really closely with us. He made sure that, we felt good about things. So I didn't feel surprised or blindsided or anything by the time the transition happened. It was actually so smooth. It was kind of
I was surprised.
yeah, it's just like one day we were operating under one name and the next day we were operating under the new one.
Yeah.
And all the payroll transitioned and yeah, it was like
cool.
an instantaneous overnight thing. So I'm honestly not sure what like challenges I face other than just normal business
Yeah,
ownership.
business challenges.
And
Yeah.
you know, trying to make it through. And I will be honest, at one point we were still building up capital, and we had capital in the bank, but it was not a lot. And,
Never quite enough.
because we hadn't accepted any payments for events yet.
Yet.
Right.
All of the payments or deposits that we had done for any future events had gone into the old business.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have that
We just had our
capital
little-
behind us. We
Right.
just had our little capital that we had put in
Yeah.
personally.
Yep.
It feels different when it's your own money.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very- yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I remember being stressed the first time I did payroll. And I was like, oh my God, I needed a check to clear. We had finally gotten payment for a giant wedding we did like the week before.
Nice.
And I had finally gotten payment and I was going to the bank. I was like, I need this check to clear. I'm trying to pay my
Can
employees.
you put it in now? I'll wait.
I need you guys to do, and they're like, well, there's not much to do. You guys are still a new business and blah, blah, blah. So there's natural holds. I'm like, okay, I mean, I understand, but I'm trying to use this to pay my employees. It's not like I'm trying to pay myself or trying to pay.
Because
I need-
we were not going to get
We
paid
were
if this
Right.
did not go through.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to pay my employees. Luckily, the bank actually worked with us. They were great. Shout out to Global Credit Union.
They've been awesome.
They've been so great through this process and helped us out. It didn't help us out, but they were like, okay, we're going to push this through for you guys and make sure it goes through. But, you know, you're technically liable if this bounces. I'm like, this isn't going to bounce. The clients are awesome. Don't worry.
Right.
But that was the only stress. Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that. You said that comment about gray hair. I really don't feel like,
Yeah.
God, knock on wood, I'm going to fuck myself right now. I
I'm
really,
excited about it though. That's
Yeah.
good.
yeah. But ever since then, the capitals come in, it
Yeah.
goes out twice as fast as it comes in.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's all been there. Everything's been great. No other issues, honestly. Lexa's been a wonderful business partner to have. I like it's been really good.
Yeah. It's just mostly physical
That
work.
sounds yes, the
I was
long
gonna
hours.
say it's
and
just the long
sleepless
hours,
nights and
but
stuff.
I mean, I agree with Skye. It wasn't really much of a change. I mean, I'd been doing so much on the kitchen side at that point. I mean, Patrick hadn't stepped foot in the kitchen in like years. I mean, everybody was thinking he was making the food, and it's like, no, he hasn't made any food. I mean, he's an amazing chef, but he didn't have to because he had me. So
Yeah.
I had been running that for so long that, and
Right.
he'd been so far removed that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, okay, see you later.
But I mean, from that standpoint, really, there's little to no transition.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, it's just
No.
business as usual. and, right?
It's nice that he stayed on to kind of like help with that transition too.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, that's a
I'm very grateful for
big
that.
key to success. You know, every time we talk like business strategy or how to sell a business, it's really like helpful to negotiate that previous owner to help with that transition.
Yes.
Because you just don't want to be like, wham, no tutelage.
Yeah.
to make
And
sure
like,
that
here,
there's-
just
that you're
run with it.
successful with it. You know,
Too, I feel like if you have some ownership of it, you would want to, right? Like,
And I think that's
Most- I think-
where
yeah, I think-
Patrick came from.
Yeah.
He had built this business and, nurtured it for so long and had made it into a successful business.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is sell it off and then see
Watch it
them
die.
fail.
Yeah.
Watch it die.
Well, you
Yeah.
said the best way you put it was, he'd raised this business and now he's sending it off to college with us.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
So,
It's been a
so
trip.
lots
though.
of parties in the future, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
all
The
the
college
parties,
parties, lots of-
and we started it off. Yeah, we started off with that ribbon cutting. Yeah.
ribbon
I
cutting.
know I missed it too. I was like coming back from town, something happened, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it was. You
Oh,
missed,
you
missed
was
a good
great.
we
one.
were there for the after party until like 11 o'clock at night. You should
No,
have just
dude,
come
there were
down
like
after.
people catching fish and stuff. That was like a good time. to
It
be
was a
in
good
there.
time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
It was a great time.
We went through. I ordered 8 cases of champagne, and we went through 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you did tell me you ordered a bunch of champagne.
I know. She
wondering
said
how
I
many
was
you
going to
went
get
through.
6. She said 6. I'm like, maybe 8. Who knows? We don't know what's
We
going to
don't know.
happen
Just in
here.
case.
Just
Yeah.
in case.
YOLO.
I like champagne.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I get it.
It was a good night.
No, it was a great night.
I mean, champagne's good for morning or night. Just be
Yes,
juicing it.
I know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's good for
Yeah.
any time.
It's a
Yeah.
versatile product.
It is a very versatile product.
We were able to sell it anyways.
Right. It's like as you guys talk, even though it's, you know, not so much like, because you have that nice transition, you know, the issues, or not even issues, but just every business just is like, oh my goodness, am I going to be payroll? Like that is such a common
It's such a common thing.
you know? So I'm sure there's a lot of business owners who are like,
I totally
there.
relate to that.
Yeah.
There.
And I think it's not always necessarily talked about that often of
No.
that fear and that paranoia of like,
That's the worst part, I think, because I'm working on a big project right now, and like I feel like basically I'm just throwing my money into the trash because nothing's coming out yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just,
Haven't
like,
seen the fruit
stressful.
of the labor yet.
Yes.
Right.
it's challenging, you know, and that's kind of why we wanted to start this podcast. We had gone through like this whole, like, okay, how do we want to do it? Do we want to do another real estate one? We're like, no, there's like a 4,000 of them. You know? Like who really kind of covers business in Alaska? And it's not really anyone, especially small business.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like ADC, they're wonderful, but they cover a lot of like just kind of generalized
They do.
stats.
Yeah.
You got SBDC, but they don't really broadcast like the struggles and kind of like in this form.
The realness.
The realness,
The
right?
realness.
Well, I
And
feel
so-
like it would be worth it to have those conversations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
To really let people know where they stand, and then two, it's like
There's a lot of stories behind business.
And
It's
then really-
nice to know
are,
you're
yeah.
not
It's
alone.
across real estate. You're touching a lot of different industries. I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to someone about this today. Like, think about how many jobs it takes to sell one unit, right? And then really, our job as real estate professionals is not to sell them things. It's just to show them data and then connect them with people that aren't going to take advantage of them, right? It's a
Yeah.
huge consumer perception point of things. And so, like, when you're referring business to places, like every single house needs repairs, right? Every single house maybe needs an electrician, maybe a plumber. There's insurance guy that sold the insurance, the underwriter, and all these people. How many jobs are really being created from that? And you have a pretty significant influence in your community for that kind of thing. And I'm in the business of making my own economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was just there. You go. You're like talking past it. So it's like, you're gonna be
catching
really
it, like, a
muffled.
little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna be really muffled on that section.
Just a little whispering.
No, it was just, and so it's been. I mean, actually, I've learned a lot from these podcasts just because you get so many different business owners.
Yeah,
that
so
come
many
on.
perspectives.
A lot of perspectives, a lot of lessons learned.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh,
Similar
I don't have
struggles,
to
though,
go through
and
that
everybody
one.
kind of wants to do the same thing. Everybody wants to get up in the morning. They want to have a really high quality product. They want people to feel good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But getting there, especially starting off, is a challenge.
Yes. I'm
Like-
glad that we didn't start from ground zero, that, we bought an already successful business. That really helps. But then I feel like that comes with its own challenge of, okay, now we have to maintain that under the
Yeah.
new ownership. And now we're constantly always going to be compared to Patrick and Al. And
That's,
I love them. They're
yes.
both amazing chefs. They're both good business owners. Patrick, to this day, remains one of the best bosses I've ever had in my entire life.
Still has a key.
Yeah, still has
Still
a key. It still
in his
pops in every
cook.
once in a while.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Hey, what are you guys doing in here? You got any cheese?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Literally, he'll come in and eat.
He was like, "Nah, man, there's three cases of champagne left over."
Yes. Yep.
Let me grab the Chardonnay.
He literally took a case of liquor home the other day. By
Yeah.
the way, did you see that? Yeah. But that challenge of maintaining that quality
Yeah.
is its
That
own
reputation.
that reputation of like, okay, well now we have to be at least just as good.
Yeah.
And their standards were already crazy high.
Right.
And
As nice as Patrick.
yes. And so that's its own little unique aspect.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like, taking over these businesses and I didn't even think about that because I didn't have to take over a business yet.
Right.
I've always just kind of bootstrapped it and started new because I really wanted the extra stress apparently.
Oh yeah, you just love it. You love that pressure.
Just, but I've said this before, especially at some of the YPG stuff and chamber is like, the guard is really starting to change in Alaska. And so I see that what you guys are doing now with an already existing business that has reputation, I can see this becoming a bigger thing because we're going to start seeing more of these successful businesses where the people who own it are going to want to retire or pass it along, and not all of them have people to step into place.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
and we're actually facing that one with one of our competitors. I would say Chef Alex is trying to retire from Hot Quarter Grill.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have all seen the posts on Facebook that
Yep.
they're closing like October 27th or something.
Yep.
And because he hasn't found a buyer.
Right.
It's not that he wants to close. It's that no one has expressed interest, and it's hard to get that next generation in there. I think Patrick got really lucky with Lexa and I because he kind of started grooming us from the beginning. A long time ago, it was Patrick's birthday or something, and he had a couple drinks and had a good time. And somebody made a joke about him getting older and, you know, when he was thinking about retiring. And offhandedly, he was like, oh, well, you know, I don't know. It doesn't matter. In a few years, I'll sell Bridge to Skye and I'll be fine. And it was an offhanded remark.
Sure enough.
And sure enough,
Was it though?
that's exactly what happened. And I think about that all the time now and how it was just an off thing.
Yeah.
It's just an opportunity. You were right in the right place at the right time.
Yes, I think that's what it was. And other chefs, I don't think necessarily have had that or have identified that within their own.
Yeah.
Well, that gets into succession planning too.
Right.
And that's a whole other thing that some people don't think about
don't
as
think
business
about it.
owners
Big time.
until it's too late. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, well, shit. Who's going to do it instead?
Well, and it's something with, it's a popular conversation, right? So I know I hear about it on the radio, essentially like young people, they're going to college, they're leaving, they're going to other places. So like, how do we retain our young talent? Well, now there's a gap, right? So where people came up here and they had really successful businesses, and there's like a gap of opportunity, I would call it. I don't know what's a better word for that. But really, like Justin's saying, is like people are starting to age out, and these businesses have to go to someone, right? And so if we
Or
wanna-
close.
Or
Yeah,
close.
or close.
Right.
Close, but
Right.
like we want our historic businesses, we want our restaurants and things that we've known, right? Just like the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Like the excellent, you like it's something you can count on.
Well, I feel like the biggest thing with that is that you have to, with our industry, we need to re-inspire people because during the pandemic, people got disappointed. There was nothing there, you know, the hospitality industry couldn't take care of its people.
Right.
That was the reality. And I feel lucky because I was able to retain my job most of the time. But, you know, I think that's what it boiled down to. And things have to change.
Yeah.
It can't be like that anymore.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's hospitality took a big hit during COVID, unfortunately, and I think people got a little bit of just
they got disappointed and uninspired.
well, I mean, people who had been lifetime
Lifetime servers got out of
servers.
it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They transitioned to other jobs
Yeah.
because they had no options. They had to
Yeah.
pay bills,
Yeah,
right?
they had to pay bills. Yeah.
And so, you know,
And they don't want to come back.
they did because they don't know if that's
Right.
they've been burnt, right?
Turns
Yes.
out hospitality
Not
skills
by
do
the
pretty
actual
well in
restaurant,
industries,
but-
yeah.
Yeah. And I think we'll get through that. I think it's just part of
Time.
and getting the next generation up and interested in it
Yeah.
and showing them that, you know, it is fun and you can make good money at it.
Yeah.
When I was a server, let's talk about one of the least stressful jobs like ever. Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I like wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, I forgot to bring that extra Coke to table 24. But other than that, like it was a good job. I loved it. Put myself through college. It was great. Like I do miss it sometimes. I want to go back every once in a while.
Well, you know, it's weird. You own a restaurant now.
you don't.
So,
Yeah, it's a little
you can
different now,
always
though.
serve.
No.
You're like, no.
See, I say
No.
that. I say that it was
Like,
fun
no,
and I would love it, but I really don't. I could never go back. I could never
Oh
go
man,
back.
your employee's going to hear this and be like, "Hey, because a server position open
Yeah,
tonight."
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, Skye, I got somebody for you to deal with over here.
Oh, yeah, that's always a fun thing to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, see, now
Don't we
that
love that?
you're the owner, so
The
like,
owner,
now you got
yeah.
to take care of all the people that aren't so happy.
Yes, which is always
Do you
so
script
great.
that? They'll be like, hi, my name's Kai, I'm the owner. How can I help
Oh,
Soft
sometimes
touch.
you want to whip that out.
Yeah,
There
you?
was
Do that in the mirror, you know?
There was an event a little while ago. The guy was adamant about alcohol and he wanted to take some bottles home. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And he looked at me like I didn't know what I was talking about. And he's like, well, who can I talk to? Like, I want to talk to like your manager. I'm like, well, first of all, I am the manager. And he's like, well, no, someone in charge, little lady. And I was like, okay, well, I can get the owner for you. And I walked away and came back. I was like, I got the owner for you. It's me. How can I help you?
should've did
Oh,
one of
wait,
these.
no, I already know. I'm going to tell you no.
right.
And he was just flabbergasted and just stood there like an idiot because he was such a dick. Well, I'm saying this on a podcast and hopefully he doesn't know who he is.
know who you are.
if you do know who you are, dude, you were kind of a dick.
Yes.
Totally pushed back because I was a woman in the industry and he didn't believe me that I owned the restaurant. just straight up just thought that I was lying, that as a woman, it didn't matter, that I had to find a man in charge. And then I was like, oh, and get this, actually, there are no men in charge here. All of our management staff are women. All of our owners are women. Like, no, sorry. Bye.
Hey, you know what? Did what you had to do.
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes it's an uncomfortable position.
No
to put
time
in
for
as
that.
an owner or manager, and
Yeah.
there's people that just don't want to take no for an answer.
Yeah, and
So-
most of the time, people are not like that. Most
Right.
of the time,
They're nice.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, they'll push until you
they'll
push really far
until
back.
you
Yes.
right. And most of the time, it's not a big deal, and I'll just acquiesce. And
Right.
oftentimes, it's just easier to say, "Sure,
Whatever.
I can't necessarily do that, but this is what I can do."
Doesn't
Right.
seem dangerous. So go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. It's not an OSHA violation at all. State liquor department's not going to come in here and shut us down at all. It's okay. No.
Just got to go by Roadhouse rules.
There you go.
Be nice until it's time to not be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as far as so next year you're opening
Yes.
Yes.
publicly.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like 7 days a week.
No.
Or is there like just
No.
weekends?
No.
So we're
Dinner
looking
only?
right now at 3 days a week because
Okay.
I would rather start small and add a day than have to take a day.
Okay.
I think that kind of hurts a business that way. We'll start 3 days a week, and I'm sorry, I totally lost track of myself
That's okay.
there.
No,
The
Opens-
3 days a week?
Yeah, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
For dinner, lunch.
Yeah,
just
just
dinner.
dinner service.
Just dinner.
Yeah.
And reservation
Service.
only.
Reservation
Yes.
only.
I
Yeah.
like that actually.
Yeah.
Feels exclusive.
Like what, 3 days?
We were looking
We've
at.
been, this has been an argument amongst ourselves, actually. This is kind of the only argument we've really had.
I mean, so we look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Uh-huh.
She would like to do maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or
No, I said Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I
So
feel like a lot of places are closed on Monday.
yes,
And Sundays.
And
Yeah,
Well, see,
Sundays.
and yes, a lot of places are closed on Sundays. That's why I wanted to capitalize on the Sunday market thing.
Yeah.
But Sundays have typically been our only day off.
Right.
Yes,
Okay,
with
I feel that.
catering.
But I think
and
we would just
everything.
change it to Mondays our day off.
Which I'm fine with. I personally don't care during the summer. I only care in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not in the restaurant industry, but as a patron of and living in downtown, I patron a lot of restaurants. I pick a restaurant on Sundays to what's open.
Yeah.
Like, and it's small. Like, it's not a lot of choices.
no,
Sunday
there
Mondays
is
are like
not.
Yeah.
are barren for
Eagle
Right.
River's like
open
that too.
restaurants.
Like I was talking to somebody about that. Like even the stuff in Eagle River, like you
It's
can't
not
get food
open
past like
either.
8:00. You can not have
yeah,
it.
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Eagle River. Yeah, there's
Right? I was like, if they just had something
food
to stay
desert
open till, like 11.
when it comes
Ghost
to.
towns.
Well, I mean, there's just
Yes,
Yeah.
everything shuts down.
you know there's a couple of good places, but most of them are closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Right.
You know,
It's pretty standard. It seems like across the board.
best place is Odd Man Rush because they have the food trucks.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
Yes.
they
Yeah,
do.
that's fun
Yeah.
time. I go there a lot.
Hungry
Yeah, I
Deckhand.
know.
I was
We've
gonna
been
say
there
I
a
go
few
there a
times for
lot.
team functions too.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and they're rotating the trucks there.
How have we not seen each other?
Right? I might have and didn't even realize
I
it.
was
but,
gonna
like,
say.
the
There's a
Hungry
lot of
Deckhand-
beers. You
They have real alcohol,
you saw
too.
two of them.
They
You
put
have
their
seen him. You
grilled
said no,
cheese
chef.
in their grilled cheese. They put grilled cheese in grilled cheese.
Oh, are you talking about the Hungry Deckhand?
Yes,
That
if
place
you-
is bomb.com.
If you haven't tried those sandwiches, you guys should.
Oh, yeah, you're missing out.
There's a lot of shout outs here.
Yeah, I know, right?
El Senior Moose, they're great too.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
This is coming from a chef. See, I mean, look at this.
I ate a lot of food around town.
He's a friend of mine. One time he said that.
Yeah, we're gonna get
I'm like,
massive
he calls
shout
you
outs.
out, right?
Hey,
I'm
the,
like,
the chef of Bridge says you guys are amazing.
Dude, I love those tacos.
Yeah.
I do always ask Chef where she would go eat in town.
It's like never.
Yeah, or where she would not go eat in town. I think chefs always know best, and Lexa usually knows what's going
Spot
on.
on.
Yeah.
Although you took forever to go to Whiskey and Ramen.
I did.
You
I
still
did.
don't-
I took a. I finally went because you can't get in there. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, seriously.
the
You guys said at the-
reservations are way out.
Yeah.
See, and that's the problem
a
we're going to
line.
have next summer too, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be reservations for months for us.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
That's-
They had lines.
I can eat
there.
at my own restaurant and let my friends sit wherever.
Right.
There you go.
Here's the floor and a cushion.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a spot at the bar for you.
Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So potentially 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Not sure on days yet.
Yep, working on that.
Well, yeah, we'll discuss that.
And then online reservations.
Yeah, we'll do
Yes.
everything
Like open
online.
table or something
we'll
like
make
that?
it
Yep.
simple. Yeah, make it easy. I don't want
Yes.
to deal with it.
The phone rings off the hook during the summer.
Oh.
We're
It
like,
does,
go
yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good though, because then we can really, when you're do it reservation only like that, you can really account for taking care of the guest to the maximum ability.
Right.
Because most of the time they'll tell you ahead of time that, oh, I have like a seafood allergy, or well, then why are you coming to a seafood restaurant first of all? Or they're gluten free, or
Right.
they're vegan, or whatever it is. And then we can really tailor a menu to them and make sure that we're giving them the best experience for them. And that's important. That's what people have come to expect these days in fine dining, especially. Is
Yeah.
not just good food, but an experience.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's what we believe that we can really sell with the Bridge, given our unique location and given that it'll be during the summer season. You'll have all the fisher people out there. We can sell this unique experience of like Alaska
Yeah.
and what
You're-
like it looks like on a plate
Yeah. And you're in a bridge
Yeah.
over a creek.
over a creek.
You know, it's one experience I've always wanted to try is that like dining in the dark
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can't see
You can't
anything.
see
See
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
I wonder
how is this going to go?
This is messy.
I have always wanted to try that too.
Oh, that's my nose.
right. Yeah. and
Smells great.
Maybe we can put together some experience dining. Like Chef mentioned earlier that we're
Yeah.
doing the wine dinners again, starting in January.
Look for us.
So check that
Okay.
out through Brown Jug.
Sure we'll do
Yeah, it's
that.
going to be
Yes.
2 events a month. We're going to have like a wine social, and that's going to be Wine Wednesdays for what we were talking about. And then we'll
yeah.
do fine dining where it's coursed out, and that'll be on a Saturday.
Oh, that'd
You
be
know,
fun.
stick me on the mailing list for that one.
Yeah.
Yes, noted.
Yeah.
Seriously. That
They
sounds
they
awesome.
always sell out. They sold
Yeah.
out every time last year.
Very fast.
Yeah, we went to one. I think we went to one last year.
Which one?
I think the Italian one.
Oh, that was a good one. Tuscany?
Yes,
Yeah,
that was a great
great
one.
one. My
Yeah.
husband was there too, getting
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot about the Chianti wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce at Brown Jug does a great
Great
job.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we bought a lot of wine from that. So.
Good. I'm
Good.
glad to hear it. That's exactly.
It's all been gone for at least. It's
Well,
all been way gone.
You'll have to come back and
Back
stock
there,
up
too.
then.
Yes.
Some more wine.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because they run their wine specials too, you know.
They
during
do at the
those wine
same
dinners.
time. I
Yeah,
know.
Special price.
Special
I
price.
know.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why we bought, I think, almost a whole case.
Yep.
They got me. They knew what they were doing.
They do. They always do.
What else? Like, what else special events you guys have got coming up?
Those wine ones are the biggest one. I like your experience idea though, and now I'm side eyeing chef over here. I'm like, what can we do
experience
with
can
that?
we do?
That makes a sick date night too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to be out with friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I know. I don't have to look at her, but I can taste all the food. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a blind date.
Don't-
You have one of the most beautiful wives I've ever seen in my life.
I'm just teasing. I'm just
Oh
teasing.
my gosh.
Don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, Yana, I'm texting you later.
No, she
okay,
listens.
we'll edit
She
it
listens
out.
to every
We'll edit it out.
podcast. She'll punch me later for it.
She will. She knows how much. She knows how much you love her.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, I think the experience stuff has not really been tried yet. I
Not
think
in
that's a
Alaska.
yes.
We did like a mystery wine dinner in the past that we were talking about bringing back
love to
back
do
again.
that.
A paint
That'd be
night.
cool. Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I loved it.
So-
I love paint night, so I think it would be
Never
cool.
been to one.
Like murder mystery.
Have you never been to a paint night? Really?
Get to
That's a
drink
great
and
question.
paint, man.
I don't
How
know.
great
It's
is
not-
that?
You should see me paint. It's terrible.
Somebody leads you. It's
I
very
know, I
easy.
know, I know.
You'll do a
Just,
great
you know,
job. We'll host one at Bridge. You'll come down.
Yeah,
You'll do a
come
great
down.
job.
I'll show you after this how great I paint on the iPad. It's like stick figures.
That's not the same. That's not the same.
I
You'll
know, I
do
know.
great. I know you'll do great. I believe in you.
You're like, ooh, paint's not such a great. See, this is why you haven't
That's
been.
that's why you're in real estate.
Yes.
He's like, Justin, you're supposed to use your brush.
Not
Your finger.
That's where I went wrong. Oh, thanks, Billy. Let's see. Well, we always kind of like talk about with our business owners. Sorry, rabbit hole, and then we came back. See,
Yep,
I
yep.
told you. there'd be some-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told you rabbit
All the
trails.
way
and
full circle.
we got to come back to the trail a little bit.
We always will.
With our business owners, we kind of talk about like, you know, because we try to make this podcast for other business owners or people who are looking to get into business and entrepreneurs, because there's not a lot of like real stories out there. So with your experience, limited or vast, what would you say are some like just awesome tips for someone just starting or wanting to get into like restaurants or just business in general?
I would say probably when you decide what you want to do, just stick at it. Because when I decided that I wanted to be part of restaurant ownership, I drove myself in that direction. And even when I felt uninspired and really beaten down by the industry because it was really hard during the pandemic, I never stopped doing the work. I never stopped putting in the time. I like to say I never took my brush off the canvas. You know, I never stopped creating art, even when it was bad.
Yeah.
You know, and I just continued, you know, my best advice is to just constantly stick at it. You know, if you decide that that's what you want to do, as long as you stay at it, you'll get there. And I moved up here in 2012, and now I own a business in 2023.
Nice.
And that's when I started in the industry, and this is where I'm at now.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of goal setting,
Yeah.
which I guess similar along the same lines. I think
Yeah.
that's why we work so well together. I'm a huge, but not just short-term goals, medium-term, long-term, and try to always be mindful of how your plans are playing into those long-term goals. It was not my dream to own a restaurant, I'll be totally honest. I never thought that this is where I would end up had you asked me a year ago, oh, you owner of Bridge? Fuck no, oh my God.
Definitely not a year ago.
No, it's so surprised. But just to be mindful of those opportunities when they're presented to you, because you never know what's going to come at you, and to not just dismiss it. Because even though owning a restaurant was not part of my plan, it still fits into my long-term goals.
Right, it moves the needle for you, right? Like, I feel like a lot of times with that stuff, when you're goal setting, you don't really know how you're going to get there necessarily. You just know that you want to get there, and then you just work really hard and figure it out.
Yeah, and you go along with it, and you take those opportunities. And I think that's what I have always been open to, is just taking those opportunities. And this one fell into my lap, and I took it.
It's funny because I think you guys were like 31. It's like, I think the 31st episode, maybe the 30th.
Oh, cool.
Somewhere around there. Somewhere early 30s.
Early 30s.
And almost all of the business people we've had on the podcast, none of them were like, yeah, in kindergarten, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, all of them just kind of like fell into it by happenstance somehow.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a planned thing. They weren't gonna be like, I'm going to be a restaurant owner. I'm going to own an HVAC company. I'm going to own, an auction house.
An auction
like,
house.
shout out to Dan. But like, it's all of them had somehow just, life just happened, and it was a really random quinkadink.
And they
that
said yes.
they just like, okay, I guess this is where
And
I'm
they
gonna
took
go.
the
And
opportunity.
they took the opportunity.
Yeah. And I think there's also something to be said about luck.
Yeah.
And
But you create your own luck.
that you kind of create your own luck. And I read an interesting article that said that luck really isn't a thing.
Yeah.
And that people kind of like feel lucky because they think they are lucky.
Yes.
When in reality, their chances are not any different than anyone else's. But because they think, well, stuff just kind of works out for me, and they take opportunities.
Right.
They're focusing on the positive.
They're focusing on the positive, and so it feels like they're lucky. So then they think they're lucky,
Right.
And then they
and it
actually
perpetuates.
are.
It does.
Right, and it perpetuates that self-fulfilling prophecy of,
Right.
well, I'm just a lucky person. Yes and no,
You manifest that.
but more
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do
Tell
manifest
you
yourself
manifest
that
it.
enough, you'd like totally do.
It's like Patrick manifesting you.
Yeah,
I'm just going to sell it to Skye.
yeah. I'm just gonna sell it to Skye. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Here we are, the part owner of Bridge.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that whole mindset thing is like an actual thing.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
A lot of people, I think, probably see it on TikTok or Reels, and they see, quotes about mindset, and then they don't realize that if you are really pessimistic and kind of play that victim role, and that's realistically all you're gonna be.
Yeah.
And then that's what
yeah.
your outlook on life
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that every world's out to get me, right? And the minute you change that, you start kind of like realizing that your destiny is kind of created by yourself and how you surround yourself with people.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
It turns out you do actually have a lot of control over your destiny. Those decisions are yours.
Yes,
Turns
they
out
are.
you have more
Yeah.
solutions than what you can see.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to surround yourself with people that,
For
benefit
sure.
you, right?
One of my favorite saying is, "We all make choices."
Yes.
and you have to live with both the consequences and the successes of those choices. But we all make choices.
100%.
Mine's hash brown choices. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the mindset thing is huge.
Yeah.
I totally believe in that. We talk and coach about that with our agents, and then just a big proponent of making sure to surround yourself with just amazing people who are better at you.
Good staff,
Or
people
just-
who
yes.
are knowledgeable,
Yeah.
people that you trust.
Yeah. I mean, we couldn't get here without the crew that we have. You know, they
We couldn't get
support
here
us.
without each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and that makes a big difference, having people that you can rely on. Because right now we've got people at the bridge right now working and setting up for champagne pops. And, you know, we got to put a lot of trust in them to make sure that that
done.
stuff gets done, because it's
Right.
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
I can 100% see that. Yeah. Okay. Well, as we're kind of approaching the end here, how can we find you?
Yes, you
Besides just
can-
going to Googling Bridge.
Yeah. We're on Facebook. You can stop by the restaurant. We're down there most days, I would say. But Facebook is probably the easiest, Bridge Seafood. We are still operating all of our social media and website under our old name, so bridgeseafood.com. But we're working with a great marketing team that's helping us rebrand, and we'll have a new logo soon too.
That's
a
cool.
project that we didn't mention that I totally should have said something about. We'll have a new logo
Website.
soon that we're really excited about. But for now, bridgeseafood.com.
Yeah. The website, though, just so you know, it has not been worked on in a really long time.
Yeah, it's gonna look old.
Very old. There's no work of mine on there.
No,
Still says Patrick
It still
and
says
Al
Patrick
or-
and Al own
Okay.
it. It has not. We haven't changed anything at all.
But it's a good way to contact us.
But you can still reach us that way.
Okay. Got it. And then I guess you guys will announce all your reservation stuff in the future because that's
Yes,
We will.
2024.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
2024. We still got some time for that.
Apps and stuff. I like that one on Google. Was it like tables or whatever?
Open table.
Yeah,
Open
Open
Table, I like
Table's
that
a good
one.
Open
Yeah.
Table's a good one. Yeah,
That's a good one.
That's who we've used in the past.
Or like Reservy, or is that called Reservy? Is that what the one?
Yeah, that's another one.
it's, I don't know.
Resi.
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 That's what
That's
it
the one.
is. Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, Resi's another one. We'll
so dang
we'll
close.
see
That's
what
good recall,
we
though.
we'll see what we land on.
Yeah. I mean, we used Open Table in the past.
Yeah. They all come with their own different vendor stuff that you can use
Oh,
or whatever.
of course.
Yeah.
They're always trying to sell you
gotta
ads.
sell
They
some
do.
of
They try. So they can even tell
100%.
you like layouts of your own restaurant because they can help you do like a waiting system with it.
Well, that's
and
kinda cool.
So some of it is cool.
Oh, yeah.
And some of it's like, "Ah, you're just telling me shit I don't need, man. Just tell me your basics.
Yeah, just
$14.99.
Yeah, just put
Yeah.
in your info.
Boom.
Yeah.
yeah. How about so the catering stuff?
Yeah, we'll do holiday parties, company parties, private events. We'll come to you in your residence. We'll come to you in your office. We'll actually go anywhere in South Central Alaska.
Yeah.
So we'll go with
Okay.
Glaciers?
Yeah.
Yes, including glaciers. We'll go on trains.
Yeah.
We'll go on
On
boats,
Yes.
trains, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
There you go.
All the things. It's pretty epic. I think that's one thing that's really cool is that we'll come to you. Not all
That's
caterers will do that.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, then we also have our own location, which a lot of caterers don't have that.
Right.
And not only our own location, but a really fucking cool location over
Yeah.
Ship Creek.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like one of a kind for Anchorage. So
Yeah.
It is. It's unique in like the U.S. You don't
Yes.
have a lot of restaurants that are over waterways like that, or unique
Especially not
location
one like that
restaurants.
one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's very unique spot.
Yeah, it's
Hands
great.
down, probably one of the coolest spots in town.
I know it's
for-
got me curious.
thank
Like,
you.
if you guys were only open like 4 days a week, would you ever consider letting someone come in and like rent a space, like I don't know, like a celebrity chef or something who's gonna come in and do like a
Or
thing?
what's that called? Like a ghost?
Oh, like
Ghost
a ghost
kitchen?
kitchen?
Oh yeah.
Because that's a lot of people.
Well, that
are-
seems like a lot of work.
I mean,
That-
like, it depends on how, like, fiscal that is for us. And,
Yeah.
like, you know, because that's the other thing is that we still have to turn the lights on and
Right.
put gas in the stoves and
Yep.
stuff. So that's, you know,
That's a
that's
thought I
a-
haven't even like considered.
I
Yeah.
was just curious.
Because we could
It's
still
like
rent the
freedom.
space out on the days that we're closed for other events.
Right.
But a guest kitchen, a ghost kitchen. I'm also not sure how Chef would feel about having another
I
chef
don't
in
know.
her kitchen.
We do have a chef, Chef Jana Patterson, who accepted a position with us as our chef de cuisine, and so she also teaches cooking classes
that'd be
online
cool.
and in home and stuff. And so
Yeah.
one of the things that we would probably explore if we didn't have like an event or something is maybe doing one of those classes, since she's really well versed at
I can see
that.
that.
That's
really well.
pretty cool.
And she
Yeah.
goes places like she taught fireside cooking classes,
Those are
camp
cool.
cooking. Yeah, they're really neat.
That's
so
awesome.
that'll probably be something that we're exploring as well, since I know she feels really passionately about it.
yeah,
So-
that's really cool.
And we really
glad I
like
asked.
her.
Paint nights, wine pairing, tastings,
The location is awesome.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
man,
Lots of big stuff on the horizon.
a lot of
That's-
it. Yeah, no kidding. 2024 sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big year.
It is.
Big year.
Hey,
If
that's
2023 wasn't already big enough, just buying the place. Just wait. Just wait.
okay. Hey, it's all about planning, right?
It is. And goal setting.
Goal setting, mindset.
Absolutely.
Okay, so last one. We've already kind of covered two big ones because we always ask like the top 5 things that you could like give someone, right, an entrepreneur or business owner, the top 5 lessons learned. Sounds like we've already covered goal setting,
Goal setting, a positive, and having a good
like
mindset.
Right.
Plenty of sleep.
Ooh, speak for yourself on that
Yeah.
one, Chef.
Yes. Yes,
so-
exactly.
So self-care.
Self-care.
yeah.
Ooh,
Self-care
I
is
can agree with that
important.
one.
Self-care
big
is
time.
important.
Yeah.
Trusting the people you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
Trust.
one.
and putting
Yeah, so-
and letting them know that you trust them, and that you trust them not just because you like them or they're a good person,
Yeah.
but you trust them because of their ability, and you trust them because you think they're competent, and you trust them because you believe in them and you have faith in them.
Yeah,
And so I think trusting the people you surround yourself with is a really important one.
that's a good
Is
one.
that 4?
It's 4. One more.
I don't know.
I don't know. We already talked about self-care. There's got to be
I'm like, well,
Eat well.
that's part of self-care too, though. Like,
Let's see this.
explore everything. You
That's a good
know,
one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I did a lot of different stuff before I ever came into this industry. You know, I actually was going to be a vet, and I got in the mail a card to look at a culinary institute. And
Yeah.
so I ended up doing that instead of going to veterinary school. And that's kind of, so always be open to everything.
and
because
open to the opportunity.
Yeah,
like
because
we
you
talked
never know.
That could be the one.
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
this was so
Hopefully you had
awesome.
some fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's
yeah.
a great opportunity. Of course, see, you got to take the opportunities when they come to you.
Absolutely. So, once again, you want to give a quick shout out to anybody? And
Our team at Bridge, you guys are wonderful. We love you so much. You're fantastic, and we trust you implicitly and expressly, and we
Couldn't have
wouldn't.
done it without you.
Yep, we can't do it without you.
and once again, best place to find you,
www.bridgeseafood.com.
which is going to change soon.
It will.
But
It will.
For the moment.
For right
For the
now.
moment, right now,
Okay.
that's the best way.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.